make it. God's gonna see you through. Hold your head up. Let a smile on your face. This is another test. Here's for me. For your blessing. Get ready. For your miracle. For your blessing.
Good morning, good morning. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sir Markadoo here with Sir Media Group. We put your business in the street. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things should be added unto you. Well, thank you for tuning in today. We got a very interesting broadcast this morning. I'm going to open up the lines early, and you can please chime in anytime you like. We have the name of this broadcast, as you can see, it's about business as usual with our young adults, our young teenagers going into adulthood. It is very, the reason why this topic has popped up, because I had a lady here yesterday evening, and I had a granddaughter here. And we had a very interesting conversation. But what has happened, it showed me that how much work we have to do around our youth. But before I get there, I want to be able to even look at my 14-year-older, even my 30-year-older. I mean, it's just how do you? There's no manual. I said, man, there's no manual to get this thing done. And it's like I was looking at the 14-year-old. It's like, how well is he really doing in following some of the paths that I set forth? Because I'm his first, right now, one of his first line of growth, and I feel like I fail in some of the situations. I fail at it, but I win in the other situations. We can't be everything to everybody. But I was talking to his mother the other day, and I asked her, and now I'm more inclined to ask, who's really raising the child? Am I doing it? If she doing it? Are we doing it? Is the TV doing it? Is the laptop doing it? So it's interesting conversation and dialogue, and that's what's missing, I believe, in a lot of things that we do around our children, is the dialogue. even between the parents. Because if you really check yourself, are you really communicating with each other about the young folks that are really growing up, especially boys? And I gave my wife a scenario when I said, tell him to ask me. Anytime, like a lot of times when he wants this or that, go ask your father. Get a man's perspective. Stop asking me everything. Go ask your father. You want something? Go ask your father. Because now it forces him to communicate with me. And he sees what, the head of the family, not the head of the household. What is he saying? What is his take on it? See, I know right now that any boy, any young girl in this situation when they're 14, 15, there's things that they need to learn, especially boys, right? Especially when talking about girls, when girls need to talk about, man, they got to talk to their father too, but they need to talk to their mother. What are boys after? What they want, right? They get it from their father as well, but it really does take the whole family to raise that kid. And now my son, Mark, he's more engaged in the 14-year-old's life. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the whole team. It's a team effort. But he really needs to spend more time around his men. And what do little boys think about the most when they're like a little 14-year-olds, 15? Sex. I want some. And how or when do you begin to really communicate about that subject? And I'm really inclined to say, and I have a brother that, matter of fact, I think he wrote a book. He's going to write a book. I think he might have wrote the book. And the book is mostly on, especially boys. What do boys, what's their makeup? What is their aura when they're dealing with life? Whose personality does young boys really take on? The father or their mother or their friends, right? Which ones though? Which ones are high influence on the boy? Friends, but also the mother. And they got a high capacity to take on their mother's traits, because now this is all opinion. This is my opinion, right? It could be right, it could be wrong. But I would gather my opinion and say that the boys really take on their mother's traits. Why? Because they really spend a lot more time talking to the mother. They have a tendency to take on the emotion of the mother. I believe a lot of times what happens when you're disciplining the boy, the mother jumps in, defends, right? So the boy takes on that thing where mama gonna protect me on this thing and I can get through a little quicker. The boys start realizing they can get it. Well, girls too, they can get in a little further, faster through their mother. Now, it could be flipped the other way, that girls get through their father quicker, get over on their father the quickest, right? So it's a really touchy situation. Lines are open at 404-286-6700 and 404-286-6700. Is it business as usual when it comes to our young adults? We got a caller. Maybe it's for order. Excuse me. Okay. Please call in at 404-286-6700. And a lot of what I do, I don't want to today ain't gonna be about making money. Calling you on the air.
Sir, good morning, Q.
Q, man, good to talk to you this morning. Top of the morning to your lads.
How's everybody?
Doing awesome.
What up, Q?
Morning.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on the air. What's up?
You know what's up. You know what's up. See, hey, listen, this is a great topic for us. This is something I believe you can really bring some clarity to. I'm dealing with boy issues right now because I believe that we as men we already talked about this in a broadcast that we need to step up. But the deal is, what are our boys turning into? You know, if we don't help them, we're in trouble. Talk to me, Q.
Well, with the younger kids, man, they preteens and your teens and you have your young adults. With the boys, like you said, man, they total makeup depends on who's the more dominant figure, in their life. And being that a lot of us brothers or men, dads are out of place. We're not on the throne as kings that we are. We leave that loophole for those boys to be, I won't say misled, but because you don't have that dominant male figure in the household or a positive role model or father figure, it leads them to have a sense of insecurities. When the mom raises them, like I heard you say earlier, they become emotional and don't know how to handle it.
Ooh.
So I know a lot of sensitive guys, man, a lot of sensitive kids. I think that it goes back to a lot of this shooting, man, and gun violence, because the kids are not being told that they are men, that they have a voice, and we're trained to hide our feelings. So therefore, I feel like parents are raising barbarians and pit bulls because we don't know how to communicate, our feelings. And as a young kid, they grow up with all this anger. And because some of the moms raise them, and they're emotional, and they don't know how to channel that anger, and
they do it, and then they end up doing it emotionally. They end up doing it emotionally, and that can get you taken out.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. They don't know how to. They don't have men to go to. First of all, they are afraid to go back to mom because they're going to look like they're not going to be a man. So I think that it's a bad situation right now for the young men, man. A lot of men they want to be men, but you have to be trained to be a man. You just can't let them. Like a lot of kids say, man, I'd rather have a boy, a child, a boy, because all you gotta do is just put them on t-shirts and some shorts. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that's just partial. That's just partial of it. So we are left to fend for ourselves. Just say, hey, he a man, he'll learn how to fend for himself. But that's not true, because you're going to wind up learning from somebody some kind of way.
Some kind of way. I like that. I want to go back to that emotional piece, because the take on, see, I hate to do this, but I really here it is for me. Men take on this feminine role. These young men, I'm telling you, I've been there. I've been there because I know. I told my wife it happened to me. I was raised by my mother. My mother was very protective of me and protective of her boys, and we knew that. And we ended up being, we took on some feminine roles. Some at times with the emotion and all that, and being in a situation where, as I got a little older, right? See, my mother used to whoop me, okay? She didn't just beat me; she whooped me too, whooped me and she beat me, Okay? And what had happened was the emotion that she put in me while she was whooping me. As I got older, when I got around girls, any girl that was any bit aggressive, I was overly aggressive. You feel me? I took it back out on, because I used to have I was there. I beat up on girls, and I didn't beat them up, but my older kids, I would smack them, get out of here. And I realized, it took me a while to realize I was defending myself from this woman that was really my mother. It took me, she'll tell you, my wife tell you, it took me up to now, a year or so ago, to really understand that my mother played such a role in my life that the anger that I had really was more directed to her than anything else. That was just me.
I think, man, I second that motion, man. And listening to you say that, I just came to realization that was some of my problems, and I've talked to my mom about those things, about, how kids are raised. We're like those ducks, when they say a duck or a bird be born, well, I'm going to say a duck, looking at television growing up, that the first person that duck sees, that's who it imitates, that's who it follows. It don't even have to really necessarily be the mom or anything. It's just whatever they see first, that's what they gravitate.
Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do.
Right, and if the parents are able to, humble themselves and even like be on this line right here, right now, man, with this broadcast, man, that is absolutely truth about that, man, because when you're being trained and programmed a certain type of way, as parents, even now, man, with my 3 kids, man, I'm really trying to do and give them everything that I didn't have or do it better, even when it comes to speaking to them in a certain tone or asking them to do certain things. All that comes into part, man. And I believe everybody on the earth been through that, man, because a lot of stuff was beaten into us and not told to us or taught to us. We were just about made to do everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you have to break those cycles and break those chains, and we become more mature. Like now in my life, I tell my family all the time, don't tell me what somebody told you. It's a new day. I'm doing all my research. I'm breaking all generational curses. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning stuff for myself. I'm not gonna keep saying what my grandmama said or what my mama said. I got my own life to live now. I'm gonna take those lessons and use them as a tool, but balance it out. But I'm not gonna live my life just because this is what they done. See, it's different strokes for different folks, man, and we got to wake up in this day and age. And I'm just saying, use some of the foundation and the concrete evidence that we have to prepare and prep, for future references in our kids. But I won't just be, I'm a leader, man, you know what I'm saying? So I've been following all my life, man. So it's time for the men to step up to the plate, man, and do their own homework, man, and progress, man. You know what I'm saying? Just progress, man, evolve,
Yeah, that's interesting. Even with my son, we've been growing up together over the last 4 years or so, 5 years, and he knew me as always overly aggressive, and it's not because of who he is, as a bodybuilder and all that. That wasn't a thing. My thing was to communicate with him in a way, and a lot of that anger, resentment, and all that is going away. I'm not saying that we still ain't working on it, because we are, but whatever the present will definitely repeat the past if you don't begin to adjust, like you said, analyze and to research. And I had to research my soul. I had to like you said, I had to humble myself to realize that, my God, I had so much of my mother attached to my spirit and my psyche, that I couldn't even, my son was with me and my wife was with me when I was talking about my mother and I got out a real good cry. But I haven't, cried since then. But I mean, I did it right in front of them. You feel me? I mean, I was crying like a baby, not realizing how much information was transferred to me in my spirit, and it was hard to shake it, right?
Sure.
So this is why I'm very, like even my 14-year-old, I was spanking him and whooping him. Then finally I said, that's enough. I'm tired of this because there's another way to handle it. Now I can see that his anger and aggression has subsided because he was getting angry and frustrated, and the things my mother put me through, I would put him through as well. And now I can see the change in him already, knowing he knows I ain't never gonna strike him again, ever. I'm not saying I won't pop that little booty if I have to, but I don't have to. First thing coming is not aggression, and that's the as far as I'm concerned, some of the feminine side. And I think that most men that show some type of aggression have been beat before,
Well,
so I want my.
You can always tell though, man. Even if you look at the our culture versus the European culture, what I'm saying, how the Caucasian people always talk to their kids, and I say that now too. I always say, well, before you try to do anything physically, then when you speak to them, make sure that you know that they know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to talk to them first to see if they'll listen.
And it's also the tone. It's also the tone. It's also the tone. So go ahead. It's also the tone. It's also the tone in which you deliver that message. But go ahead, Q.
Yeah. It's also the tone too. So you have to speak to them and see if they understand what you're saying. Like I've seen kids, get the whipping and stuff like that. And I said, looking at their face, it's like they didn't understand what you were saying. First of all, they could be too young. First of all, you can just tell them something, and they're not getting it. You know what I'm saying? That's why, really, when you look at a person, a lot of kids that get whipping, it's only because they're not doing something at a certain time that you say, if you say do something right now, they don't do it, then really it's all about a time frame. So you say, didn't I tell you to be, you know what I'm saying? So, but the physical turns into the rebellion. Like you said, you had a hatred for the women when they was dominant.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we was getting the dominant beat out of us. Like my kids right now, I chastise here and then, but it's like I'm letting them grow up to see how they gonna be. Now you train them up in the way they should go, but they don't have to consist of the physical altercation all the time. Because watch this. If you take the leadership role, and if you show them, then they'll start intimidating what you're doing. So therefore, you have to be leaders all the time. I tell people all the time, you're a dad, you're a parent, your job is 24/7. You can't sit back and be like, no, you got a job to do because they're watching. And who are they watching? They're watching you.
That's it. And they're watching.
Once you plant that seed, raising kids or dealing with the youth, it's a seed. So once you plant a seed, you can't expect to go outside tomorrow and see a full flourished tree. Yes. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. And I think that's something that the world don't have anymore, man. This microwave generation, parents want to put water in the kids, and tomorrow they hope they grown and change their own pampers.
I mean, get it in, get it out. Get it in, get it out. Put it in, get it out. They spin these kids out now.
I think, like right now with the youth on an overall standpoint, man, it's like you say, it's going to take everybody, man. I feel like it's kings amongst kings. You know what I'm saying? Nobody above the crew. You know what I'm saying? So men with this testosterone, and we feel like, we got to be bigger than the next man. We just got to be humble, man. That's why I call in and kick it with you, man, to get all the knowledge that you have, man, because, you're supposed to learn a little about a lot, man. It's not about knowing everything, man. It's just about, perseverance and your endurance, man. And, that's all it's about, man. Who's going to be here to put the positive reinforcement, back into life, man.
Hey, I hear that. And guess what, man? And just regressing back just a little bit. I remember, and it just really dawned on me while we're talking, I ended up being a bully because of this. I really was a bully. And my brother, that was above me, used to bully me. And I didn't know where that aggression was coming from. And I know he got a lot of whoopings. He got a lot more whoopings than I did. I can remember that. But then he used to bully me. And I used to go out and bully other people. And then I realized, I said, wait a minute. I said, this bullying thing ain't where it's at. Because the person that was bullying didn't do nothing to me. Right? So that's when I started to realize that, wait a minute, this aggression thing is a little bit over the top. But then it because I didn't have nobody to kind of reinforce the sweet side of the life, I grew up and I would whip my children, right? But then I came to a conclusion. And I really looked at, I said, there was one person in my life that was the sweetest of nectar, that was just didn't use no force on me. It was my father. My biological father never, I can't even remember, never laid a hand on me. I mean, I was thinking about him this morning, and I said, if something ever, if my father passed before me, and I had to speak at his funeral, I was thinking about that, and I said, this is the sweetest man I have ever, not because he's my father, because I know that this is the sweetest man that I ever met in my life.
Because of that, yeah. It's funny, man, that we so many years apart, man, and generational wise, man, and that's the same story I have, man. I think my father, man, I can remember one time, man. My dad never been with that, man. I remember my mom used to come in the house with switches and all that. He'd go right behind him and tear him up. You know what I'm saying? Like he never did the whipping, man. He don't even believe in that, man. You know what I'm saying? He don't even, he don't like that. He barely, you can raise your voice at the kids, man. Hey man, don't holler at him. You know what I'm saying? So, oh man, it's beautiful, man, when we can experience some of those things, man. And if anybody tuned in right now, man, I just feel like these are some of the most valuable, programs that they can take notes off of, man. This is a real life experience, what you experienced in your life growing up as a child, and me, as well, man. I think I've been through enough, man, to where I kind of see the light, man, and he just had to, spoon feed a lot of this stuff by ourselves. I'm trying different things as I raise my family.
It's amazing.
But I know the first thing, though, man, is to be humble. I'm not worried about, crying. If I got to cry, I'm going to cry. I know all that now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't have to be a barbarian, man. I don't have to be the pit bull, man. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that, man, I've been getting a whole lot done, man. I'm still learning, though, because I was on the street. I still had the street mentality, which you still need. Like you always say, man, that hustle in you that don't change if you go from the street to business or vice versa. You need it all. If you have that experience. It don't go nowhere, but you just kind of critique it and narrow it down and kind of shave it down to a new era. But we need all of that, man. And I learn from the dummies too, man. So you can learn a lot from a dummy, man. So
man.
Everything.
Well, you can learn how dumb you are, and sometimes say, I don't want to do that. That's so dumb, I don't want to repeat that. But I want you to stay with me, Q. The lines are open, 404-286-6700, 404-286-6700. I want you to hang in there with me, Q. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. And I just want to make sure that we get on with somebody else, 404-286-6700. This information and this topic it was so ready to come out of me. I didn't know when it was going to come out. I knew this topic was going to come out because that's why I used the topic, is it business as usual? We can talk about money all we want. And guess what? It doesn't transcend to everything. Money it's not everything. Money might rule the world, but it doesn't rule us as individuals. It shouldn't, right? Now, I'm just going to touch on that though a little bit. Because now we're talking, emotion. That was a child, a youth that's now a grown person that hasn't got didn't have a chance to check that stuff, and now they're bringing the emotion into the workplace, into your business, and that is one of the biggest things that's tragedy, I think, amongst men, especially men, but women too now, but especially men, when they bring all of that emotion and all of that pit bull mentality to the workforce that hasn't been checked. I want you to elaborate on that.
Man, that's great. That topic right there, man. Bringing those emotions to the workplace, man. That's we say it brings a lot of tension to the environment, and that's what it is, man. People are not leaving their personal problems at home, and it goes back to that communicating, man. A lot of people will tell you their problem, and when I get calls all the time, I get calls from the youth, I get calls, to peacocks, man, from parents, and people call me about relationship issues, and the first thing I say is, did you tell that person how you feel?
Whoa.
We're telling all the wrong people, man, what's going on.
Well, you'll tell a stranger. You'll tell a stranger about that. Go ahead.
We'll tell a total stranger, but we won't tell the person in whom we're talking about. And I asked one simple question, well, did you tell him? Did you tell her? Nah, I did. Well, I'm like, well, how are you expecting a change in your situation if you didn't confront, what you don't understand, or you didn't ask the question? A lot of people go into a relationship without asking, do you want to be in a relationship? It's so many areas, man, that I'm going back to what you said earlier, man, the communication, man, we're not taught to tell somebody that I'll get hurt if you hurt me.
Come on. Keep going.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, back to the kids. The kids don't know that. You say, that's why now if you look at the news or you see the community stuff, man, with the violence, people can just say, screw you, and then they shoot you 100 times in your face.
Bang.
They don't know how to take it.
You got
They don't know how to take it, man. This emotional stuff is all up. They don't know how to express themselves. And that's why we're looking at a lot of time bombs waiting to happen. A lot of people, they're not even really mad. It's just like, you know what, you said this to me, you did this, and this is all I know how to handle it. You can't really blame their actions if nobody never taught them that there are other ways. I told you once before in one of your programs, when I came up, I didn't know I had options. The devil told me I was going to die in the hood.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you don't have to be a criminal or be involved in criminal activity. If you just from those environments and you walking down the street and you see a car do a U-turn, your mind going to say, uh-oh, watch out. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this stuff is embedded in us, man, just from our surroundings, the people that we're surrounding with that's not positive, not positive. And sometimes they just don't know better, man. The education and the lack of family, the lack of unity.
And the lack of communication.
Yes, sir.
And the lack of communication. I want to chime in on what you just said, because I just knew I was going to be a crackhead and alcoholic all my life. I just knew it. And if it wasn't for the grace of Almighty God, I heard a voice saying, that's enough. That's enough. It surely wasn't another human being that said, that's it. Because that night I was smoking crack. That morning I was free without any intervention. And that was over 20 years ago. And I still want to talk about the workplace taking that emotion into a business, because watch this. I'm going to show you how simple, I'm going to talk about the emotion again, how men, especially men, take on a female trait. They just take on a female trait. Check men that hang around women in the workplace. They gravitate towards women when they're in the workplace. The ones that sit around the cooler, hang out in the lunchroom with the women and all. And now they might say he's a player, right? That ain't a player. That ain't a player. That's a player that's getting played. That is a man that's feminine, that's feminine tendencies and feminine ways, and they are emotional. That's one of those men that if you say the wrong thing to them, they'll, for one of the first things they do, buck up at you and say, well, I'm a man too. I'm a man. I said, wait a minute, I never didn't say you wasn't a man. So where's that anger coming from? It's coming from that female libido that you have inside you.
Yeah. That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem, because you got to think about it. As men, we're being trained to be combative, man. We're being trained to always constantly be
on the defensive. On the defensive.
On the defense as well. And we always been taught we in competition, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of men, well, you hear females say it too, though, I don't hang with women, because women keep up stuff. You have guys say, man, I don't deal with these punks. You know what I'm saying? So really, it's something going around through the whole board, man.
Through the whole gambit.
I mean, we got to be so rebooted, man. You know what I'm saying? It's really pathetic, man. You know what I'm saying? People are not, I see couples out right now, man, and people will still be disrespectful, man, to try to holler at your lady, or you go to the restaurant, the waitress flirting with the men, and their wife sitting right there. Like, this thing is like, it has no boundaries, man. The lack of respect, man, the lack of remorse. It's crazy, man. It's literally crazy. And when they bring those emotions to the job, I feel like it's a bad day waiting to happen, man. Like, there's people going postal. You know when they say go postal. They go to their workplace, man, and trying to seek revenge. And I say, man, the bottom line is, if we start teaching people how to communicate, you'll have somebody say they ain't scared of nothing, but they scared to communicate.
Absolutely, because I know people say, I ain't scared of you. I said, well, what's that got to do with anything? I mean, I'm not scared of you either, but I would never check you like that. I mean, I ain't scared of you. I know sometimes those are words, but those are deep-rooted words. When somebody says, I ain't scared of you,
Well, here's the thing about the word scared, and I tell the youth that all the time, man. What do you mean you're not scared of that? Oh, you're scared of a lot. Like these kids, they scared of the books. They're scared of school. They're scared of owning their own business. They're scared of a lot of stuff. But when they say they're scared, I say, you know what? Fear is one of your God-given sense. You know what I'm saying? I tell my kids all the time, stop saying you ain't scared of that. No, God can give us the spirit of fear, but fear is a sense. The same way you're happy, you're smiling, you're sad, you're scared. Because we always used to say, they don't bury the scared, they bury the dead. So if some of these guys stop playing so hard, and when they heard that little voice that told them to leave that party, but they want to say, no, I ain't scared of that, they'll be alive today, man. If they would have just, hey, man, I'm at the wrong place, man. It's time for me to go.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
I checked out plenty of times. I said, this is enough of this. I can see what's good, where this is going.
Yeah, and I'm saying, I'm telling people, stop looking at fear as if it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
people go see horror films to get scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a scary movie. Some men are going to make you, whatever it is. But it's horror. It's frightful. You know what I'm saying? So, anybody listening right now, fear is okay. Fear keeps people alive.
Absolutely.
That's one of the senses that tell you that you've been staying in this spot too long. Or it's time to go, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people dead right now in the grave that's not coming back because they said, I ain't scared.
Hey, I got to chime in on that one. Because let me see. It says Psalms 1, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the Lord. The law of the Lord is more gracious, more good. And his law does he meditate day and night. And he should fear the Lord. You fear the Lord. Scared? If you're scared, say you're scared.
True.
There it is. They say you fear one thing, that's God. But if you do feel fearful, that's the God in you telling you get moving or get changing. Say, I'm scared that I'm going to lose my relationship with you. Well, I'm fearful of that. I'm fearful to losing my relationship with you. Then I need to adjust myself. I need to check myself. I need a checkup from the neck up.
You totally right about that, man. It's nothing. I mean, I feel like, man, we all pull our pants up the same. I just believe in one thing, man, that God gave us everything we on this earth with, man. God gave us, man. So, and I know He don't make mistakes. So, if I know if I'm somewhere and I have a sense of fear for something about to happen, I'm not trying to stay and figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's just one of the senses that I believe in, man. I mean, it could be another name for it, but unfortunately, that's the name that I have for it.
That's
and I don't know to what extent do people feel like they're in fear or they're scared. I just feel like it's just a certain sense. You know what I'm saying? Even dogs do that. You know what I'm saying? Dogs, they can sense fear on you. They can, even when they're in fear, they urinate. You know what I'm saying? Like we all put off these pheromones about our different emotions and stuff like that, man, that, people can sense out, man. You know what I mean? So regardless, we keep saying we ain't scared of nothing. You see a car about to run that red light, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I can, it's some type of feeling that we need to pay attention to.
Yes.
Because it's a part of our makeup.
Yes. Now watch this. Now, this is where we got to create not being fearful when it really comes to our youth. We are in a bad situation, especially when we're talking about religion and stuff like this, how our children, I'm going to get there now. Watch this. Last night I was sitting with a granddaughter and the grandmother, right? So I says the grandmother says to me, well, our children, our youth, are leaving the church. I said, well, ma'am, I said, your children and the youth were never really in the church. They were only there because you made them go. Just like your mother and your father probably made you go, right? So you're there under some fear, right? You're fearful. So I said to the lady, because I wasn't scared, I said to her, I said, the reason why the children are leaving the church like that is because you all don't know what you're doing. You all don't know what to do with these children. And she started to agree with me. I said, how many people in your church teaches the youth how to start their own business and create their own wealth? She said, nobody. I said, that's case in point. After I got finished near the end, I looked at the 17-year-old girl and I said to her, would you love to start your own business? She perked up. She sat up. First she was all slumped down. Listen, she was being disrespectful to her grandmother too. I got it on film. And as soon as I said to her, would you like to start your own business and be in charge of your own life? She jumped, sat up, and said, yes, I would. I said, would you love for me to teach you how to make an extra $300-400 a week? Yes, because I said, there's little jobs that she wants to work. I said, these jobs ain't gonna pay you what you're worth. And just to be able to, because I love to do this, I had a pastor here too. I told the pastor, we were talking about the youth. We were talking about fear or scared or whatever. I wasn't scared. I said, Pastor, just like you have your own agenda. You might be caring about those kids, but you got so much of your own agenda going on that your kids get pushed to the back burner. I ain't never seen that pastor again.
Wow.
Because he didn't want to be challenged. Most people don't want to be challenged. You said it. You said, did you, I could talk to you about that, but can I talk to a pastor about that? See, that's what was your saying. Did you tell the pastor what you were feeling? Well, no. Well, that's your fault. Did you tell your wife what you was feeling? No. Well, that was your fault. We have to stop being scared to talk to our loved ones. I tell Mark how I feel. That's it. I said, tell me anything that you want, because it's the lack of communication that's going to kill our relationship.
And it's really to that point, man, where I won't say I'm not speaking on the people itself, but that communication, man, it's been more than a milestone, man, to where I feel like people's mentality, mental relationship is being extinct, man, right before our eyes, man, because what's happening is, that's why everybody want to text, man. Everybody want to text, everybody want to email, everybody want a phone conference, and I'm looking at it like, you know what?
It's amazing.
It's going back to cutting off our communication again, man. If I can't talk to you, I can't see you and sit at the table with you, and people thinking that's a great idea. You don't have to be there. You know, we do everything from the privacy of our own home. No, we need each other, man. And to me, it's all about, really, it's a modern day division again. We're being divided, not to sit down, to meet face to face. Man, you can make your mouth say anything. I can call you and just have it wrote down of what I'm saying, be reading off a placard or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you look at a person, I mean, kids are not taught to look in each other's eyes. You know, look at the man eye when you're talking to him. You know what I'm saying? I want to look at a person while they're talking to me, because, you know, my understanding, the first type of language was body language.
Yes.
We're not teaching people that. You know what I mean? I deal with people with business and stuff like that, and they nonchalant, because they on the phone, they nonchalant, they chewing while they're doing business. I'm on the phone, they're eating while they're talking, and I'm like, do I say something, or do... And I'm like, you know what? You know, it kind of, what they fail to realize is, you're now telling me how you conduct business.
Yes. Yes. Hey, look, hey, I'm going to chime in on one thing you said. I'm going to let you back in. You said the lack of communication, even the texting and stuff. Have you ever seen somebody text somebody who's in the next room? I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen that and more, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you call somebody in the next room, instead of walking and say, hey, how you doing? You text them. They're in the next room.
But guess what, though? As soon as you see that person, they won't even say hello. The communication skills go out the window, man. You know what I'm saying? It goes out the window. You can text it. People text you real quick, man, love you, blah, blah. And you see them, man, it's something about them, that love, and something about them, how you really feel, it will not surface, man.
Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. And you know, yesterday's broadcast, I don't know if you got a chance to chime in to hear it, but I said that yesterday. I said, I have family members that talk about me like a dog that I'm not. And then, soon as I get around them, none of that said. They won't tell me to my face. So they shut it down, because I'm right there. But they have a lot to say about when I'm not there. But I also said that as long as they're talking about me, I'm significant. I said, if I didn't like you, Joe, I wouldn't say your name for nothing. I will keep
but
your...
But that lets you know that they don't hate you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
See what it is? They're just... You do have... Everybody have haters. And unfortunately, they're not all... mainstream. Like, we don't always know who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They do their best job behind scenes, man. You can be running with people now, man. They'll be with you today and get out of the car and be like, I don't even know why I got in the car with them. I mean, it's just a lack of loyalty, man. You know what I'm saying? People are right now, you know, we have this mentality of saying, man, I got to do me. I got to get it how I live. So what it is, it's a saying, say, his pain, my gain.
Wow.
You know, and that's a bad saying to these kids. If you look at some of these kids' tattoos, they let you know they all about self. And I feel like people like us, or people that are surrounding us and listening to us, following us, whatever it is, we need to be aware of those type of people. They need to be exposed. We're exposing what we're doing. But that's why they can't expose what they're doing, because they're like leeches. There's some people sitting back right now, man, that's waiting on you to get a check or me to get a check because they know we going to feed them.
Yes.
They ain't really trying to help. They really in the way, but we don't know it until we uncover their actions. It's going to be something they're going to do to signify that, you know what, I'm just really just sitting back trying to, climb the ladder with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And those haters, they come in so many different forms, man. That's why one day, one of my Thursday shows, I broke down what is a confidant, constituent, and a comrade. You know what I'm saying? We need to find out. We got to see. Everybody has a position to play, and position is key. So I tell people in my life, what position you have depending on what role you play. You ain't just, I don't call people my friend just to say it. See, that word friendship is overrated. Everybody's not your friend. Everybody's not a winner. We keep telling these kids, everybody's a winner. No, you're not. You got to work hard for what you get. If not, they're going to be waiting on you to get it, and they're going to take yours.
I love to ask you, watch this. I love to ask people, how many friends you got on your Facebook? Oh, I got about 5. I ask people, how many friends do you have on your Facebook? They say 5,000. I said, most people don't even have 1 or 2 friends in a lifetime. Those are not your friends. Those are not your friends. I said, you got friends on all this social media. I said, they will kill you. There's somebody on that list that will kill you if they had a chance. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Everybody's not your friend. But you got...
Really be honest with you, man, I don't think none of them are. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
what I say right now is, what I say right now when I'm in the street, I say, look, I try to figure out how long they're going to be around. You can tell by the conversation about your vision. See, everybody don't see your vision. So what I do is when I start sharing my vision to people and what I'm doing and what I'm going to do, and I start seeing them get all, he think he been I know then that, you know what, we only going to get so far.
Right.
Because you're not going to allow me to play my role so I can help you. You know what I'm saying? People don't look at it like, you know what, me and Sir kicking it, you know what, one of us got to make it. But if our mind's set and our heart is right, if you make it before I do, I'm expecting you to reach back and help me come up.
Absolutely.
Or vice versa.
Absolutely.
Not take off and be like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the mentality of the people, man, that, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and it don't have to be. We're creating this world. I mean, what people don't know is people feel like they don't matter. But I'm just like, if you saying you call the shots, everything you do, everything you say, every negative word or positive word that you speak into the atmosphere, it plays a part in the future.
Hold on, Q. Hold on, Q. Hold on. Call you on the air.
Good morning, how you doing?
Hey, hold on, brother. I'm going to chime us in. Hold on. Hey, Q, that's Patrick. Patrick, that's Q.
Brother Patrick, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. You're laying it down, brother. I'm just loving it.
Hey, man, I take no credit for it, man.
To God be the glory. I mean, it's been instilled in you, and you can hear the not frustration, but you can
conviction.
You can feel
the
genuineness in it, what you're talking about.
Hey, man, thank you, man.
Awesome. What you got to add to it, Brother Patrick? I always love what you guys say. Talk to me.
I mean, there is nothing that can be added to what he said, because both of y'all, from the time y'all started, y'all have been putting it down actual factual. I like to say it like that.
Nice.
Actual factual. Because there is a femininity in men. And they didn't know it. We didn't know it, I'll say that. We didn't know it because we were living that life. And we never look in the mirror. We can't see what we do. We can't see us. We only can see other people. And so when we are dealing with our parent, which was our mom all the time, very seldom do we have friends that had a mom and a dad.
Yep.
Or in the household, for that matter.
Yep.
And so when we are living our life, we're living our life through our mom, like you said earlier, sir. We're living our life through our mother, because she's the one next to us, and she's the one feeding us the way we should go. And so until we get that man figure in our life, we are acting the feminine, emotional man role.
Yes, it's a real man now. A real man, because you got to watch most men. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We get a man that want to sleep with our mother and have to take on the man role with us, but really he don't want to because he's not our father. And so what he do is he tell us, toughen up, man. Quit acting like a punk. You know, we getting scared to death because he don't want to deal with us.
Well, you're being treated. Well, the kid being treated like a woman, like a woman.
Yeah, he pimping up like he pimping up mom or whatever, you know. And not to disrespect our mother, but she's emotionally falling for this guy, and he just doing what he knows to do. And he talks to us any kind of way, and we deal with it because my mom said, listen to him. He's my next daddy. He's my dad. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I got to do what he say do. Get your ass down there and do this and do this. Just talk to you any kind of way. But that's because of his lostness. He was lost. He was going through the same thing I'm going to be going through because he's teaching me, or lack thereof.
Yes.
You know?
Yes,
and
yes.
So, and I was listening yesterday, sir, when you had the guy on and he was talking about the websites and all that. I can't call his name, but it was important that I bring his name, him up, because he was telling you that you need to put video DVDs out for people to be able to purchase what you said.
Yes.
Already.
Yes.
Say it once, sell it triple, triple,
yes,
quadruple times.
Yep. Yep.
But you are doing this because you love to do this, because you want people to prosper.
Right.
So, but it still needs to be duplicated to be put out to masses of those that are willing to listen or look. You got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got YouTube, but like he said, it will fade away in those eras. What you need to do is take the videotapes and put them on a volume of DVDs so that they can be mass produced to those that need them.
And sold.
Give them away.
And
that's
sold.
up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was trying to say sell it. No, go ahead.
I'm listening.
No, I was just saying, he said, and sell it. He said, don't be scared to make no money.
Right. And I want to add to this too, man. And believe it or not, people want this, man. They just don't know where to get it because it's a hit and miss of people like ourselves that's giving it away. People want this, man. If you get anybody right in there and tell them all this good stuff that we're talking about now, how to make money, how to be self-sufficient, man, they'll be crazy not to take on that challenge, man. When they already got it instilled in them, it just got to be birthed, or it's just got to be hatched like an egg, man. You know what I'm saying? The egg is there, and what you're doing is really just making them dig in themselves and find out who they really are. So you're really getting a 3, 4 for 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so excited, man. Go ahead.
Go see somebody tell them what they're not doing right.
I want to.
That's where you got to understand this too. You got to remember there are way more followers than leaders, man. So leaders are in a position. You, brother, you, myself, man. People are listening right now, man. They just might not know how to chime in, or they don't know how to. They don't know they have a voice yet. But if they keep tuning in, they're gonna get there.
Hey, check this out. I want to thank you two guys. One of the things I want to make sure I leave our viewers and our listeners is to make sure you share this information. We got to understand that the lack of communication that we have, especially with our children, and letting them know that, listen, you do carry feminine ways when you deal as a boy. And that I'm dealing with the boys right now. And it's okay to tell grown men that you like and that you care about, that you understand how you was raised? Do you see your emotion in you? And it's okay if this subject can be brought up. Who's gonna really bring it up? You know?
The person, to me, it's the person that knows better, man, and have reached that point of maturity, man.
Right.
I say it all the time, man. I ain't scared to say it, man, because I feel like another brother said before, we better start telling them as real men before the other kind of men tell them, and y'all can screw.
Absolutely. On that point, I gotta go, guys. God bless you. Have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Stay blessed. Peace and love. So there you go, folks. Another broadcast. Ready, and we're ready to do it on another level.